Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, last episode we were talking about how we need to love and accept ourselves unconditionally. This is a core universal human need that we have. So if you want to eliminate suffering from your life and live with more inner peace and joy, this is not an option. This is an absolute must. And the challenge with this is that there are parts of ourselves that we may not like. There may be aspects of our past, our experiences that we do not like, that we may even hate with a passion. And it's like, how do I face these parts of myself or these aspects of my past and accept them and love myself unconditionally, even in the face of them, right? And I told you that there were 2 strategies for how you can basically deal with this challenge. And I shared one of the strategies with you. Now, I told you both those strategies were very much interrelated and interconnected, right? So when you practice one strategy, it actually helps you to engage in the other. So remember, these strategies are not like, I'll do one and forget the other. No, it's like you want to practice both. But you can choose which one to start with, right? For example, like you may find one strategy easier to implement immediately compared to the other. So it's like, okay, just start with the one that is easier for you to implement right now, and then move on to the other one. But you're going to need both. You're going to need to implement both in your life, especially if it is, relative to something about you or your past where, you have some like really serious feelings. Like you don't only just not like those parts of yourself, but you like have that sense of like hate with a passion. Wow. Whew. Okay. So I told you the first of those strategies has to do with the very first how to be happy secret that I shared with you a few episodes ago, right? Which is about choosing to be happy, choosing to focus on what is good in your life. Choosing to act in ways that help you to feel happier, more at peace. Choosing to think thoughts that help you to feel happier and more at peace. Right? So if you're going to choose to act and think in ways that are more happiness promoting for you, you are going to have to find things, identify things that actually have that impact, right? So that was part of the homework I gave you last time. I said, hey, look, make a list of some things that you like to do, that you love to do maybe even, right? That normally help you to feel happy. And do those things. Do more of them. Identify specific thoughts that help you to feel happy. And make the time to deliberately think those thoughts, like you're meditating on them, right? So you actually have to identify those thoughts for you. So I hope you did that. I hope you began to even implement that in your life, and you're starting to notice the positive impact of that practice. Now for today, I promised that I would go over the second strategy with you, but I realized that actually we need to stay on the first strategy, right? Because there's a problem that can come up that can prevent you from implementing the first strategy. And I want to make sure I address that problem with you before I move on to the second strategy. Okay, so what's the problem? Okay, so the core solution that we're talking about implementing with the first strategy is, okay, look, you need to choose to be happy. You need to basically find the good in you, in your life, in your situation, and focus on that. The problem that can come up is that you can be so far down in the dumps, so far down in this deep, dark pit in your mind that you cannot find anything good. Like you can literally, everything feels like it's dark, and you can see no ray of light, no ray of hope, and it's like, oh, you're just stuck there, you know? And this can happen, you know, and this is not actually uncommon. I can't tell you how many times I have been in conversations with people where they like literally couldn't think of any positive in their situation. They literally couldn't find, like, identify any good in the bad that they were experiencing. Right? I mean, I had so much experience with this kind of scenario when I was on the hotline, for example. If you've been listening to this podcast faithfully since the start, then you know that one of the many things that I've done in my life is for 4 years, I was a crisis counselor on a sexual assault and domestic violence hotline. Right, so I was dealing with a lot of people. I spoke to literally hundreds of people over the course of those 4 years, and they were going through all kinds of very intense crises in their lives. And so, yeah, it was not uncommon for me to come across these kinds of scenarios, where, you know, because see, look. Here's the thing, that if you're feeling really badly about something, about yourself or your situation, whatever it is, how are you going to begin to feel better about it? How? I mean, one of the core things that you need to do is to find some good in it, right? Find some positive in it, so that you can then build on that to move forward, right? So that is also what was part of my job that I had to do on the hotline. But insofar as, like, one of the things that was like what that was going on the hotline was that like, I didn't know these people who were calling us. They were complete strangers. So all I knew about their life was what they were telling me. And right, and so and the perspective that they shared with me was like all focused on everything that was wrong and everything that they were like finding themselves challenged by and struggling with in their lives. And now I have to help them begin to see the positive side of their situation, and I don't know anything about their lives other than what they're telling me. So how do I do that? Especially in a situation where I'm trying to ask them like all these questions to help them see the positive side of things, ask them about, okay, what's worked. For example, one of the questions that we were taught to ask is, hey, what's helped you in this kind of situation before? Like, what's helped you to feel better in this kind of situation before? Have you ever, or is there anything that you did in the past that helps you deal with the situation before or helped to improve the situation before? Or, another question that, we may ask, and by the way, these questions, you can ask these yourself too, right? I'm telling you, going into these details with you so that you can apply this for yourself as well. It's like, okay, if something's worked for you in the past, it's likely to work for you again right now in the present, right? Just likely to, not guaranteed, but likely. And so in these kinds of scenarios where these people could see no ray of hope, there'd be like, there's nothing that has helped. Things have only been getting worse, for example, is a common response that I would get. Or they might say, well, I did this in the past and it helped, but I can't do that anymore because, and they'd give me like all kinds of reasons why they cannot do what they did in the past to help themselves, right? And sometimes like those reasons made a lot of sense. And other times, like I could see like from my perspective that the reason they didn't seem to be feasible solutions anymore. It wasn't because they were really not feasible solutions, but because of the perspective that this person was taking, right? It was like they had developed certain blocks, and they just like literally were not able to see certain possibilities and certain options as being viable for them anymore, or at all. Okay, so these kinds of things, like again, this can happen. So we would go through like this whole process, like because hey, by the way, this is another little tip. Let me tell you that. See, any good counselor, therapist, even coach will never tell you what to do. I mean, and the reason for that is that, you see, it's like only you are truly equipped to make the best decisions for you, to make the best decisions for, how you can move forward in your life, right? Because if I'm your coach or your trainer or your counselor or therapist or whatever, even after you've told me everything that you've told me, I still don't know everything about you. I still don't know everything about your circumstance. I certainly, and hey, not to mention all the other people in your life, right, that you're being impacted by and how they might react in a situation. There's like so much going on that I, as an outsider, as a therapist, a coach, counselor, whatever, I don't have access to all the information about you, about your life, about your circumstances, right? So how can I possibly make the best decisions for you? I cannot. You are the expert of your life. You really are. So only you are equipped to make the best decisions for you. Right? So the way that the best, therefore, that I can do for you in terms of helping you and supporting you is not by telling you what to do, but rather by helping you figure out your best solutions yourself, right? And what your own best solutions are, right? Like you may be confused in your mind about what the best solutions are for you, but your heart knows, your best self knows, right, what those best solutions are for you. So if I am a good coach, a good therapist, a good counselor, then I can effectively help you to tap into that inner wisdom and figure out what those best answers are for you. And by the way, I am a very, very, very good coach and counselor. So I am able to do that very, very effectively. I'm just saying that, hey, as a reminder that, look, if this is something that you're struggling with in your life, please do not continue to struggle with it on your own. Reach out for some help and support, and I'm one person that you can reach out to. And you know how to reach me. Just go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com. Click on the Contact Us page, and you'll see different options for how you can connect with me. And you know what? Actually, this is ultimately the most effective solution also for how to get yourself unstuck and out of this deep dark pit where you yourself cannot see the light, where you yourself cannot find any good in your situation or in what you're going through or what you're facing. Is connect for help and support with another person. And it's really important, by the way, this is really, really critical, that the person you reach out to help and support for, that this person be somebody who has a significantly different perspective than you do. That is outside of your situation to a certain extent, right? So that they can have a different perspective on your situation. Because if somebody is in the same boat that you are in, going through like for example, let's say you are somebody who's struggling with a very negative body image, like you hate your own body or the way it looks. Or feels or whatever. And I'm telling you, no, look, find something to appreciate about your body. Find something to love about your body. And you're like literally sitting there and you're in this like really super negative state, so you literally can't think of anything to love about your body and to appreciate about your body. Right? So now I'm telling you, okay, so this is a critical part of the solution that you need to apply. You need to find something about your body to love and appreciate. Okay? But you can't think of anything. So now I'm saying, okay, so go talk to somebody else who can help you find something to love and appreciate about your body. Now, if you go to somebody else who is also struggling to love their body, who also has a very negative body image, I mean, you can talk to them and you can both sort of like sympathize with each other and the struggle that you are facing. It's like, oh, I'm feeling this. And they'll be like, yes, I'm feeling that too, or I feel that way too, right? So you could certainly find a certain measure of supportive comfort, but in terms of helping you achieve some kind of breakthrough, helping you actually find like a significantly more positive perspective, significantly more positive way to relate to your body, this other person will struggle to help you do that because, hey, they're struggling to do it even for themselves. And insofar as they're struggling to even do it for themselves, how are they supposed to effectively do it for you? Right? So, Okay, so maybe the person that you need to go find then or connect with is either somebody who used to have a problem where they struggle to love and accept their body, but now they've overcome it and now they have a healthy relationship with their body. So maybe you can go talk to somebody like that, because now they're in a significantly different situation, and you can benefit from their experience and their wisdom. Or just go talk to somebody who just loves their body, period, who just has really good self-esteem, who has a positive body image. Be like, hey, what allows you to have that? And learn from them, So basically the point is you need to go find somebody who has a significantly different perspective from your own, so that they can show you different ways of looking at things and different ways of experiencing something that currently you cannot do for yourself. So you have to be, in order to implement the solution in your life, you do have to have a willingness to be open to learning from someone else, to listening to what they have to say, to exploring, to practicing empathy, right? It's like step into their shoes and make your best, most honest effort to see things from their perspective. And then you don't have to stay there. You don't have to take on their perspective exactly. You can, once you have really made your most honest, best effort and really understood something about, oh, this is how you're seeing things, this is how you're looking at it, this is how you're feeling, then you can step out of their shoes and make your own decisions about where you want to go, what perspective you want to take. Maybe you'll end up somewhere in the middle of where you were before and where that other person is. Or maybe you'll be like, hey, I really love this other person's perspective. I'm just going to make that my perspective. And so you go and you stand and you continue to live your life from that perspective. But that's your choice. That's your option. But it's like you have to be open to that exploration. So that will be the decision that you have to make, the commitment that you have to make is to reach out for help and support, and do so with an open mind, an open heart of, really allowing someone else to share with you their very different perspective. And, because the tendency, again, this is something that I know from my work with so many survivors on the hotline, is that, we have a tendency when we are in our negative state to just kind of reject. It's like someone else, is like wanting to help you maybe in your life, in your family, from among your friends, and they give you a suggestion and you just say, no, that won't work. You just don't understand. You don't even really consider it. You don't even really think about it. You just automatically reject it. So that can happen. So you have to catch yourself and be very conscious in, if you're, it's like, hey, am I doing that? Okay, whoa, okay. I'm going to put that on hold and just make a real honest effort to see things from different perspectives. And then I can choose. See, it's like that's always in your power. See, it's like no one else can force you to see things or do things in any given way. Not really. You always are choosing for yourself anyway, right? So just keep that in mind, so that'll allow you to engage in this process from a more empowered place, right? And that is really, really awesome. Okay, so with that thought and that idea, I'm going to go ahead, wrap up right here for today. And remember, you can always reach out to me for some help and support if you find yourself struggling with this. And just, you know how to do that again. You can simply go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com. Click on the contact us page to reach me. So until we connect next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.